Next up in the Vermin League Chieftain Playoff Series, we've got Solmir versus Captain Telis, and we're going to be taking a look at their games next with, starting with the Ogres versus Slaanesh. Yes, potentially a tough matchup for Slaanesh historically, just given the Ogre's girth, and they definitely have gone quite wide here with plenty of big boys, Ogre Bulls. Looks like we've got 4 of them. We've got a nice Yeti Regiment of Renown here in the center. Eshin Maneater making an appearance alongside Greasus and a Butcher of Beasts. Very, very cool build, I have to say. We've also got some Noblar Trappers, Pigback Riders mixed in here as well for some support infantry, and a single Saber Tusk plus a Blood Vulture for some extra mobility. As for Slaanesh, they've got plenty of mobility themselves, plenty of Fiends here. Some Marauder Horsemen, including the Riders of the Mighty Serpent, making their way up and around the flank. Devoted Marauders, almost called them Dread Marauders, might as well be. With Spears and Swords mixed. And then Powerhouse, Zazel, and Steercar, both as heroic support. Gotta love the odd showing of Greasus. He is near and dear to all of our hearts. I'm doing everything I can day by day to become more like him, if you know what I mean. But anyway, we've got the Riders kind of just doing some skirmishing. Trappers doing a nice job screening, eating javelins with their faces. And I guess they're basically the same cost as the Bulls, so it doesn't matter too much, but the Bulls will take a decent amount more damage there. Yeah. Let's see, though. The Yeti's getting ready to charge in with the Marauders. It is a conquest game. Yes, yes, smash, bash, all the good fun of the Ogres as the Yetis make their presence felt here. Bulls also just smashing into some devoted Marauders. We've got the Fiend follow-up, a tiny bit late on this left side, but should be plenty effective, perhaps. A little Cash Cascade over here for the Ogres as the Bulls charge in, but we are seeing some Marauder Spears following up. Getting ready to kind of brace against this, get some anti-large work going. Yeah, here in the center, the combo of the Yetis and the Pigbacks was definitely a lot to bear. But Marauder Horsemen staying close, able to support well. Fiend, Steercar, the Zazel all jump in on their right flank. Try and shore things up. Maybe even win out this engagement. Blood Vultures. And the Saber-Tooth Tigers, yes. They all jump in here on this flank as well. Going to be doing some really nice damage. But where will Greasus go? That's the big question. Greasus and the Eshin Maneater together is a pretty nasty single-entity powerhouse, so they're going to have to be very careful. Steercar and Zazel together probably could do pretty decently. The problem is that Greasus just has so much HP. He's basically like a big stompy monster level of HP, whereas, you know, Steercar and Zazel both have very good stats, but more kind of infantry slash horse lord HP. And then the Eshin Maneater also is pretty decent. Doesn't have quite as good a stats overall, but the fact that he's here to help, also has some buffs and debuffs he can use. Try and swing that heroic engagement. But yeah, the Trapper's doing a nice job pushing back. The Fiends over here, again, Slaanesh kind of just running out of steam a little bit on that flank. But let's see if the Fiends can get out in space and get something going here. Try and finish off some of these tattered units scattered around. Greasus just falling back, trying to work off of his ranged units as much as possible. Definitely makes sense for Solmir to try and prioritize, you know, the ammunition he does have remaining. Can be very effective here from these Trappers. Very high volume of fire despite limited ammunition. But Slaanesh is rallying, kind of getting everything together here for one cohesive final push. All the Fiends are still alive, which is very important. They're going to try and make a late game comeback. And all of a sudden, yeah, Ogre's looking a little bit surrounded, but doing a really nice job just staying tight. Not getting any units isolated where Slaanesh can kind of pick them off. Right now, really, you only have this one group, which, you know, at least there's the 2 of them together here. But Slaanesh doesn't really have great angles to come in and capitalize on this separation at the moment. So, fast forward a little bit. As Solmir hunkers down, Telis is going to try and pick him off at the flanks. But Zazel jumps in by himself here. Steercar is kind of chilling over on the side. And that's going to be pretty rough as the Eshin Maneater and Greasus, together with some bulls, try and trap him in here. Zazel's pretty big. He's like as big as an ogre almost, to be honest. But yeah, he is going to get absolutely smashed in this engagement. Those well-paid ogres, well-motivated to just bop him extra hard in the face. And meanwhile, Steercar and the rest of the Slaanesh army is going to come in here and try and make a push. Pop that Phantasmagoria for leadership debuff and hard snare. Will it be enough to actually break some of these units? Ooh, hard to say. Yeah, the Fiends come in. They get some pretty decent charges, but... Ooh, nice little micro rear charge there. But Zazel took like half his HP there in that circle beating. What did you think I was going to say? It is Slaanesh after all. Anyway. Yeah, Greasus, though, gonna get in, mix it up once again, manages to actually reach Zazel. Yeah, screens through his own troops, gets a nice smash with his mace there. Greasus, of course, dealing magic damage with just massive weapon strength. Also has that monstrous impact to try and pin Zazel down, or at least slow him down so he can keep up with him. But for the time being, Greasus is just going to take engagements against whatever he can get close to. So him and the Eshin Maneater go now after Steercar. And it looks like Captain Telis is going to throw in the towel there after a valiant effort trying to take down what is definitely a tough matchup for Slaanesh. Might be the toughest matchup in land battles for a few different reasons, but one of the biggest is just the high DPS, you know, high weight of bulls. Slaanesh doesn't really have the best anti-large, so it makes sense that a primarily large kind of monstrous infantry-based faction might give them troubles. But the short-range burst of the Trappers and their little speed debuff as well is excellent here in this matchup. The Pigback Riders, more of a screening force, but one of them actually did run in and get some pretty good value there. Bulls also, again, same thing, just trading reasonably cost-effectively. You don't need too much from them, given how cheap they are. But the presence of Greasus and the Eshin Maneater, while they ultimately didn't pay for themselves, is a nice combination for single-entity power. Trying to take down what Slaanesh can bring here. I really like Beasts as well. That Flock of Doom, just to speed some of these low HP Slaanesh units. Speed their passing back to the Shadow Realm. And Saber Tusks, Blood Vultures, nice support mobility there. I love the Amble Peak Greybacks as well for kind of one elite heavy hitter. Magic. Lots of slowing effects too, if you notice. Like you've got the monstrous impact from Greasus. You got the Frostbite from the Yetis here. I don't know, did he actually have any slowing effects for the Butcher? Or no, not on the lower beast. I don't think he took any, at least. But the Trappers have their little traps debuff as well. Nothing too crazy, but some slows at least to try and get on the critical units. And for Slaanesh, Fiends did a decent job, but you'd maybe want a little bit more from them. If they were to fully pay for themselves. Marauders, hard to really ask too much from them, but yeah, Zazel can definitely be a very, very potent lord, but here he just really didn't have great places to land. Solmir did a really nice job of mirroring with his own single entities and just kind of pushing these two around a little bit. So, fun one for sure. And I'm going to show you Game 2 from this series because it was quite awesome and notable. So strap yourselves in, be sure to subscribe, like this video, and check out my next video where we will see if Captain Telis can come back on the series or if Solmir can close it out. So stay tuned for that. We'll see you next time.